by Trantolo and Trantolo. You've been injured in any kind of accident out there, they're your company to call. Keith and Scott, third-generation Trantolos. They've been open in this area for over 85 years. Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, Torrington. New law offices in Long Island, Riverhead, and Melville. So to get a hold of them real quick, 844-999-9999. Are we good with the Players Weekend and the players having any kind of bats that they wanted, including the pencil bats and crayon bats?
So you're the one who clued us in on these pencil bats. I would say almost a year ago, it feels like, because all the kiddos were getting them.
They've been out for a bit with the younger kids.
So the pencil bat is hilarious to me.
Yep.
It has a big eraser. It looks like a pencil. And, you know, how pencils they get thinner to the tip, and the tip is black because it's lead, and that's what you write with. The handle is all black. And it looks like a pencil. My man Ryan Jeffers gets the first home run in Major League Baseball history with the pencil bat. That's my guy from Wilmington. I love seeing him still in the league. But to have this record, I mean, some people might want first home run ever hit. I'd want first home run with the pencil bat. So good on Jeffers. I'm cool with these. I think there should be more of them. I've been thinking of different ones that we could do. I think the kiddos in the Little League World Series, they have that. Is it Easton that is supplying all this stuff for the kids?
No, they have all kinds of different bats.
Oh, it's not the same brand?
Okay. They have a million different bats.
Well, the fire-looking one, the one that's like all yellow and orange and red, like that one's really cool. And then I started thinking of just like the research of this. When did they start painting the bat? Not cool colors. I'm just saying even black. Like, when was the first all-black wood bat? And I can't find it anywhere in the history of baseball.
It's probably the 60s or 70s. I remember in the 80s they had – I can bring some in. I have multicolored black at one end, the regular wood color, just the regular it's not even really yellow.
I know what you're talking about,
but
it's
not painted. It's just coated.
Like two-tone coat.
Yeah, so it's like a two-tone. Then they went to like an all-black. But remember, the bats used to all be ash. Now they're maple and ash. And because they're running out of ash, there was a big disease that killed a lot of
ash borer bug.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you see all right, so Bryce Harper uses a Victus bat. Victus and Marucci are the same company, but Victus has tens of thousands of acres of maple and ash land, which is very rare now. So Marucci spent a lot of money to buy out the company so they'd get their trees and their wood. But if you see some of these different bats as they started coming out from Louisville Slugger, I have Cooper, I have Mizuno, I have SSK. There's so many in my basement that I could go through. It was just one colored black. It was a lacquer. They just put it on the bat, and then they covered it in the clear lacquer. Basically the way you used to paint cars. So, then all of a sudden, then they started getting into the 90s and the 2000s with custom companies. That's where, so Jack Marucci's story, his son was at LSU. And remember, the only two leagues that were using wood bats outside of pro was the Cape League and the Alaskan League, which were still college players trying to get into the pro ranks. And they started using wood. So Jack Marucci's son was playing for LSU, and he's like, Dad, I want to start swinging wood and before I go to the metal at college. And he's like, okay, so he started his company, Marucci Bats, out of his garage. Just got a lathe, started making bats. All the players wanted them. And boom, he's got a huge company. So then you had so many more companies getting into custom making bats. That's where we are now.
Right.
Like even Tater here in Connecticut, if you go to their website, they burn the bats. They have a fire thing on them. Then they could color them any way they want. You could put all kinds of designs. They made for Teoscar Hernandez for the Home Run Derby. They made the David sunflower seed logo and stuff was all over the bat. And then you just coat it with the clear coat and stuff. So it's an elaborate process that takes a lot longer, but I think it's cool as hell. You have Rafael Devers and O'Neill yesterday were using Crayola crayon bats.
Awesome.
Devers had a red one. I noticed it.
This.
My wife, actually, I got to give John a credit. She noticed Tyler O'Neill's bat was a purple crayon that he hit a home run with, and he played with it all weekend in Baltimore.
Awesome. I think there's more cool designs we haven't even thought of yet.
But I like that Crayola one because it looks like the crayon tip is in your hand.
Right.
And you're where the pencil's got the eraser at the end and got the lead in your hand. I love them all. They're really cool.
They are really cool. I was just really digging into the history of the bats because I've always heard you say about the lacquer, and like the lacquer is the part that can make it more unbreakable.
And here's another thing, Ash. The grains go the length of the bat. Maple goes around the bat. That's why when they break in the handle, it goes out towards shortstop, those maple ones. And you'll see the little quarter-shaped thing on there. That's to show you if it's a maple or an ash bat.
The more you know on the Rob Dibble Show.
There you go. I'm still blown away by Lincoln Kennedy being a band nerd.
I know. We're trying to find a picture. It doesn't exist.
That is the greatest story. 27 years doing this, that's one of my favorite stories.
I mean, he was 6'6", 300 when he was in high school, so for them to have a uniform that big, good on that band, man.
It's just like, what a story. Got to make a movie about that cat.